Okay. Somebody brake. Somebody brake. Somebody brake.
Good. Right. That's good.
Just trying to, in application, real life application, think about the benefit of this. Now, the only thing I can think about is a need, like if you were doing this, but I'm trying to think when you would utilize that movement and be very effective with it.
Okay. Specifically crane stand, just so I understand what you're asking. Okay. Let's kind of start big picture and work down, I guess. What would be, in your guys' opinion, the big picture principle of why we would do crane stands?
Balance.
Okay.
Doing all the way on one leg.
Doing all the way.
For something else.
Okay.
I was thinking at least one foot over, to at least get 1 foot over the way.
Project.
To at least get 1 foot out of the way, in case somebody tries to do the trick in which somebody would.
Oh, the one that he stepped on you?
That makes sense.
Okay. In case you're sparring Shion and he steps on your foot, is that what I'm understanding?
Yeah, but now that I think about it.
Or are you talking about sweep, or what exactly are you talking about? You're not
The first one, sir.
the first one. Okay.
But that's a very situational thing.
Okay.
Now that I think about it.
Yeah, not really. How about this for a question? How many stances can you kick from? How many stances can you actually kick from?
All.
Okay, I got all. I think I heard one.
Just that one. It's all you're
I
waiting
don't think
for
so.
you to kick. You should be on one leg.
Every time you kick from a transitional crane stance. You cannot kick from any other stance. Because if I'm in a front stance and I've got 60%, 40%, how can I get my legs going? It's physically impossible for me to lift this leg.
You're saying in the actual moment of the extension
The actual
of your foot.
kick.
Yes.
The actual kick. Horse stance 50-50. How am I going to keep half of my weight on one leg and lift the other leg?
But
The
if
only
you're
one-
here, you're doing like that.
Well, what did you do though? You transitioned to a crane stance.
It seems like a low crane stand, but I guess a crane stand doesn't have a, right? Because this, to me, is different than this. I mean, I guess it's just how low I was.
How low you are.
Okay.
The height of your hip was the only difference.
Yes.
Right. So even with a cat stance, 90-10, I still have to pull basically that 10% back into a crane stance to kick.
Yes.
So we use crane stance a lot longer than we realize before we learn crane stance.
Yes.
Because it's that transition where you're actually kicking from
Yes.
here. Because any other stance, your weight is asymmetric. You're gonna fall over. That's why, like in front stance with the beginners, you'll hear kick, bump, kick, bump, kick, bump. Because they're literally trying to kick and kick a front stance all at the same time. So they're falling into it. So I kick, and then I step forward.
Yes.
Something on that first.
And I think also is how you load. If you are wrapped up like this versus like this.
Absolutely.
Some people, we all do is we wrap up over here, and then we got that over there. We're gonna run locked in here. What's up? I remember Second Price talking about you bring it in, you bring it in just right here.
It's almost like a hidden, like
yeah,
this.
the knuckle kind of, yeah,
Yes.
exactly, kind of like right there to kind of lower. So just see how my knee is pointing in here.
Yes.
So it's not wrapped up
Yes.
like that.
Yes.
Unless you're doing, a triangle or whatever.
Yes.
Alright. Now if I'm going over here and somebody's doing a leg kick, to kind of do a leg check or put the knee out.
That's what he's speaking
Sweep. Get that sweep in there. But what he's saying is, can only kick it, you gotta change all the way to 100% to one leg.
Yes.
But that is a great question, by the way.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Great question.
So, you know, the kicking, that's like the big picture. Yeah, Shell was just getting, you know, a little farther down, which is where we're headed. The only thing I will kind of tack on to that is whether or not you wrap, the knee should be forward. If you're wrapping and the leg is flared, you're not doing a crane stance. You're doing a kick me in a groin stance.
Yes.
Now, I personally like to wrap because to me it gives more stability. Soki Price would say, no, never. Always, like she was just showing, that's in here. So either one that you do, that knee should be forward, as close to forward as you can get. Now, besides what she was just describing with leg checks, avoiding the sweep, yada, 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 what else?
I mean, I definitely see a knee. That's the one that I look
Absolutely.
at as the reason. So,
Every kick, we just talked about that. So just like cat stance, you know, anytime I'm here, it's that lead leg kick. Is the obvious bone cut. Same thing here. It's the obvious leg kick from here, off of that lead side, of whatever kick it is. She hadn't mentioned the good one, which I haven't thought about in a really long time. It probably went right by it because he said it real quick.
Yeah.
The jiu-jitsu leg triangle. Get them wrapped up, bring that leg up,
And you got
Choke
the
'em.
floor, you
Yeah.
choke them out.
choke them out that way,
Oh, you're saying jiu-jitsu type on the floor.
on the mat.
You get that like, that frame. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
Yeah, I haven't thought about that one in a long time. A lot.
Yes.
So, what else? You guys are black belt, brown belt? What else am I doing there?
And you leave all the weight on one leg.
Yeah. Good answer, more specific though.
You gotta recover getting out of the way.
All right? Absolutely getting out of the way.
Hurt your foot.
I mean,
My original answer was for any kid, you gotta come to that point.
Right. It's any kick, any avoidance, triangle. Triangle to me is kind of the last segment of it, but related to that. How many of y'all have ever seen that? Grab by the collar, put foot in their belly and roll them.
oh yeah, what, like
That
that
one.
back? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
What is that? Crane stand.
Over the top.
Over the top.
Something like
Not that I can.
Thank
do
you.
it.
I knew it started with T. I was trying to dredge it
So the
up.
one where they drop down and just bring them
Right.
over.
Yeah, you
Yes.
basically have my lapel, stick your knee or your foot in their belly or pelvis, sit your butt to the ground and
Back
roll them.
roll. Yes.
Back roll. Right.
Yes.
So that kind of thing, grappling. And
At
then we
least I know the
roll up
ones
on
I'll
top
never
of it.
really do.
So
At least I know the ones I'll never really do.
Yeah.
no, say no.
never say no. Try to avoid it on gravel, it hurts a lot.
Sounds like you're talking from experience, sir.
Yeah, I did a back roll on gravel one time, that wasn't fun.
Funny.
Yeah.
When we go into that, I know it's gonna be a little bit more out of when we were talking about the crane thing. Milton,
Okay,
when he left,
right,
he was in New Mexico.
right,
Very rough terrain.
right,
You know, you ain't gonna be. He said you're not gonna be jiu-jitsuing over there.
right,
Because the talk was about Sanshin.
okay,
He said there was a couple of people out there that we get a little
right,
froggy. You know, you're in the horse, he's in the horse. You know, but if you're standing, you got a confrontation. You can't be doing this stuff because of the terrain. So you kind of like have to get to the Sanshin and crack. From there, not be moving too much and have a nice set footing.
yeah,
But he's talking about the grapple,
Mhm.
the gravel and going in there. You're gonna try to take the guy on the floor That type of terrain. And that was more what I used that for training Sanshin. Sanshin, what?
Sometimes you gotta stand there.
Sometimes you gotta go, let's walk.
Let's do this.
Let's do it.
The thing is, not in New Mexico and there, back roll them into a rattlesnake or some crap.
You're gonna be rolling in the
We're
back
gonna be
there.
doing that. For those of you that don't know, Milton was one of Hanchi's students from way back in the day. Really good martial artist. I don't. Did he move back, or is he still out west?
No, he moved back here for a long time. He's the one that actually sent me the business plan for the business.
Right,
here.
but I thought he was in New Mexico when that.
No,
happened.
he came. He was.
Oh,
here. Yeah, he was here. He was here actually by. What is that rich place over by? They just really rebuilt it really good. It was by. Damn it. Not in Winter Park. Where's some other place around there that's big money?
Park, College Park.
College Park.
Okay.
College Park. There's what's that road over there?
Well, they just rebuilt probably Hiawassee on the back side of it. That's where the money is right at the moment.
Okay, so he had a gym. He had a gym like that. He showed me the equipment, and he had a gym over there for a long time. He had a house by the lake. There's a lake over there by Obi,
Yeah.
a big lake.
Mhm.
Also Obi,
Like Fairview, yeah, over there.
Yeah, this guy, he was a black belt before Haney.
Oh, good.
Before Haney started. So we talking, and he's the one that trained me at Valencia when I first started in Valencia.
Good.
He was the one that teaching me class over there. He was actually my first instructor there. And he lived with Anchi for a while, so he had everything. The sword, the budo, the jitsu, you name it, he had it. He disappeared. I haven't been able to talk about it.
Yeah. That's why I assumed he was still in New Mexico because nobody ever said anything more about him. Cool. Did I answer your question, or did we?
That was helpful, thank you.
Good job, guys. This is the one.
All right.
Come on.
All right. Now let's do this. You don't have any of empty yet.
Yes, sir.
Stop it, right? Stop it. And let's do this. Empty.
And Carolyn, with it?
Empty.
Eight. Eight. Done. G.
Alright, let's do that much.
And Chuck, this one, you're pulling to the direction that you're going, so it's the left foot coming in.
Left foot coming in.
This.
Alright, one count, one more.
Hey.
So, as much as you can, match kind of Greg. Shorten your stance up a lot. Shorten your stance. A lot. Can you see Greg? That's what we're shooting for. We're not that close, far off the ground.
Is the knee on the ground or?
Hurry up and figure it out, dude.
As close as you can.
Okay.
Hurry up and figure it out, you're killing me.
Figured that out, did you?
Yeah, I saw you smiling too.
Alright, young man.
I saw you smiling, I knew it was on purpose.
It was not on purpose. Let the record reflect, I was on Brandon. So you write his name down for that one, not me. Okay. When we're making this, as much as you can, you want to get as close to the ground as you can without actually touching it. Right? The more important part is not doing what you were doing with this back foot. Now I'm going to try and show it without killing myself. When you're dropping down here, you want to be up on your toes. You were literally flat-footed trying to do that. Do not ever do this again. This is a knee operation coming soon. So once I'm here, just like all of our kata, when we turn, I'm going to step back. But I'm going to step back short because I want my feet under me. I can't make a front stance, well I can, but I don't want to make a front stance here and try to drop my knee. So basically I'm going to drop back to, I would say either like a cat stance length or a yoidachi length.
as I drop underneath. Maybe a little bit longer. Not on the inside of your foot, up on the ball. Now squat a little bit. There you go. Yeah, put it on your front quad, not on your back knee. Come here.
Yeah, right. I have a couple questions.
All right, go back to that position.
I'm joking.
Dude,
Listen.
it's payback time, man.
Can I ask, is left, well, maybe you're getting there. Is left hand or one thing at a time?
One thing at a time. I'm more worried about him breaking the knee right at the moment than where his hand is. All right, again, from you, one count, one move.
Hey, let's.
Hey. Good. You're sweeping both hands. Bring this one down more in front. There you go. Hey. Doing a foot punch. All right, young man. When we're coming off of this motion, and stand up, I want to show the hook punch. I don't want to show looping into loading for Yamazuki. So once I'm here, well, let me back up one. We talked about this before. If I've got a hand stuck out doing something, and I want it loaded, what are the two ways I can make that happen?
One is pulling in.
One is pulling it in. What's the other one?
Bringing it across.
No.
Step up.
No. Yes, I step to it.
Oh.
If I pin my hand in three-dimensional space,
Yes.
I can either, and I want it on my rib, I can either pull it back, moving it in three-dimensional space. Or if I pin it here, and I step forward to it, it accomplishes the same thing. So, same thing here. After I've done this one, as I start to come up, I'm leaving this where it was, so it's actually loading itself. And then I grab the hook pump. I don't want to do that. Bunkai, absolutely, it has potential, but that's not what I'm doing in confidence. So from here, I'm basically pinning it where it is. As my body starts to rotate up, it's already loading itself for the hook pump. All right, one count, one move. Hey. More in front. Your left hand more in front. More in front of your body. There you go. Hey. Good. Enjoy that. There you go. Down block. Up. Now, same thing here. The hand's already loaded, so as you shift up, it's just going to stay where it is, and then you're going to fire the hook punch in. Hey. Hook punch. Good.
The feet are literally like this, or there's a little space there. So there's some space.
There's something else. All right, we'll get to that inside. All right, yo, man, let's do that much one more time because there's something that I wanted to comment on. I don't remember what it was right now. Hey! Front of your body. Hey! Up. Feet. Okay, that's what it was. All right, yo, man. Coming off of the down block into the hook punch, the degree of circling into that hikite is kind of personal. I'm not going to correct one way or the other, but just realize that everybody's going to do that a little bit different. Yes. But there is a little bit of hook, but let's not get like insane about it. Let's make it work. Cool? All right. One more time. One count, one more. Hey. Hey. More. Yeah. Done. Heat. Nope. Down block. High punch. open. Knee, closer notch, hook punch underneath.
Are we following you right now, sir?
Good. Finish that. Good.
Forgetting what
All right, start over. All right, you two yell after this.
Start
Just,
over.
yeah, just that here. Or start over from the beginning of the top. So it'll work for you. Guys want to see something real quick. Okay, all right, go ahead. I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page. We've talked about this before, and we're now getting to the point where this really becomes obvious. We talked about it before. Each one of Sean James, Eric, myself, Sean Haney, all have about half a dozen different versions of every kata we do. The upper ones are the worst ones.
Sir?
The upper kata from like Jute especially, on.
Depends on who you ask.
It depends on who you ask. We're mostly on the same page, but last week I was having massive brain flashing, so it happened. I had to correct myself a little bit. I try to mitigate that as much as possible, but that's why I just want to see, make sure that I was on board with where you guys were at with the because I saw you do it again. I cannot emphasize this enough. This foot has got to be on a ball of foot. It can't be off angle.
It's the shoes I'm trying to get used to.
I understand, but I just want to throw it out there. Because again, minor stuff, minor being out of position is stuff I'll correct slowly. Stuff that literally can cause you injury, I want to correct now. So I just want to make sure that you're aware of that so it doesn't come out. You especially, dude. I do not want to see you in crutches in 5 years. All right, where are we at? All right, from the beginning. We'll count 1 minute. Hey. Hey. Just write this down for the end of class. The reason we're doing this and the reason we're going to spend a lot of time on that is because he skipped 2 weeks of class and doesn't have that. So write that down. The test is coming up. Whole circle of violence. This is where it starts to pay
Pay it
off.
forward. Pay it forward.
Pay it forward. Hey! Hey! Up! Hey! High punch. Sorry, open. Hey! Hey! Knee drive in. Foot punch. Like you're loading for a down block. This is actually flipping underneath. All right,
So I'm doing it. I've been doing this. So it's this really? I've been doing this.
We'll talk about that in just a second. Okay, now, as you step out to the front stance, you're going to make a down block with your right hand behind you. No, you left that behind you. The first one.
I'll remember now because I have to go fast.
Okay. So I'm here. As I slide out, I'm going to down block behind you. And I'm going to down block to my front with the other hand. All right, good. Come on. We talked about this before. Every kata has a series that is kind of its signature. For MP, it's this series of events right here. We come off of down block, high punch, open, knee, cross, drive underneath, step out, down block-ish behind me, down block to my front. Were you shown that, or were you just?
I'm trying to. I think I do it, but I didn't. When I did it a moment ago, when you said just do it again, did I do it?
I was. That's not what I was paying attention to.
Yeah, I'd have to
not think about it.
Yes.
Um,
I think so. Yes.
Because-
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
yes, Lord.
Yes, I do it.
Do it.
The
Fall down or fall?
once it. No, this I go like this, but I thought you were talking about this part.
Okay, no.
Yes, I've been doing this.
Okay, so you're falling down here.
I thought I looked at it almost like I was setting up, almost like you were
And you're not wrong. So that's why I want to spend a little bit of time, because let's talk about that, because it's an important concept.
Yes.
It really, I think, depends on what bunkai you're thinking of. Because after I come off of here, as I knee this guy, I'm thinking about gut punching here. I'm not thinking about loading. Now, if I'm punching somebody that's right here, going this way from this position, I feel bad body mechanics turning over here. So this uppercut for me is basically what we normally do. This is uppercut round. So that's what I'm thinking about when I'm doing the bone cut. Are you, when you say, what I heard you say was you're loading for the down block, like in Gohan or like in any other.
But in all fairness, my mind isn't going to bunkai in that moment. It was more, that's what I thought I was doing, preparing for. But to your point, I wasn't thinking, yeah, but you just need someone, and now you're going, so I wasn't going from that perspective.
Okay, and that's fine. That's why we're having this conversation, because it's an important question, and it's a good question. And you're not the only one that has questions or asks questions like this.
Yes.
Because sometimes we do things because it feels good. Okay, you just, for whatever reason, I really like doing this position, whatever it is.
Yes.
Until you realize that, yeah, it might feel good, but it's got horrible grammar today. My apologies. I don't know what's going on with my brain right at the moment. That whatever might feel good has very bad body mechanics and has no bunkai in that position. So let's think, because I don't think you're necessarily wrong if we can come up with what would a bunkai be for it.
Because for me, well, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
For me, the bunkai, for instance, someone's called, I'm really pushing them out of the way. And someone else may be coming, but to me, I've just pushed them out of the way. I wasn't necessarily keeping them in and doing anything. I was more getting them out of the way. And then,
To prep for that one.
Yeah.
Okay. That is a very logical, very viable bunkai.
Yes.
So I would then not say that you're wrong in that,
Yes.
but I would say that it falls into the category of eventually you're going to have to teach it to somebody.
Yes.
And for consistency's sake, we want to try to be as consistent as possible.
Yes.
So we don't end up with everybody having 400 different versions of the same concept. That circle of violence I would like to end. If Sean James and I think Sean Eric would as well.
So the standard is the way.
Standard would be punching up underneath.
Yes, I'll work on that.
So just kind of start playing with that, just keep it in the back of your mind. There's a lot of things that I personally file this way, and if I had to guess, I would say that the other seniors do the same way. Because we have so many variants, we have our favorite. So there are some that if I'm doing it by myself, I'm going to do the variant that I like. If I'm teaching it, I'm going to do the variant that Sean James wants taught here in Dublin. So that might be a situation where you kind of start building that file for yourself. So, having said that, from the beginning, one count, one move.
Right.
Hey! Hey! Up! Deep! Go! Just the down block. High punch. Hey! Open. Knee and drive forward. Hey! Not up, but more kind of down. Hot. You're gonna step out to your front stance as you down block. Oh, remind me about this down block in a second. Hot. And the down block to the front. Good. All right, young man. After I come off of here, and I step out, and I down block. I'm going to call it a down block because it's an easy way to get the hands and feet moving. If though, well, let me ask a question. If I'm doing a down block that, if my body is this way, my arm is this way, and I'm doing a down block, which way is this hand gonna face? Relative to my body. Is it gonna face away, forward, sideways, some angle, all the way out, all the way, you know, whatever. Right towards your butt. Yeah, okay. Kind of towards your butt, okay.
To your leg.
Right. Okay. So, we're all in agreement as to where the hand needs to be. That's good. From, well, technique-wise, what is it actually that we're doing? Is it actually a down block?
Depends.
Kind of, but not really. This is not that kind of question, but you're not wrong. Right? Okay, yeah, that's Sean Eric's favorite. Bunkai for that.
I mean, I look at it as it could be that person you're dealing with could be putting them down.
Absolutely. Not what I'm asking, but good answer. Okay. What is the universal truth of punching and blocking? Every
punch is a block or a block.
right. This is actually a hammer fist. I'm concentrating less on the down block, which to me would be catching and twisting, and I'm emphasizing the twist to a hammer fist. That way. So yes, Sean Eric likes that peel off bunkai. That's his thing.
When you say peel off, I'm not.
Sean Eric likes the bunkai as he hits this guy here, the guy collapses and grabs, and I'm peeling that guy off with that. Personally, my variant of that is if he grabs my hand, I grab him back and I hammer fist him in the face. So you hang on all you want. I don't care whether I hand up from one to the left. But yeah, Sean Eric's not wrong. We're doing exactly the same technique in exactly the same way, emphasizing the exact same weapon on our body to two different elements. That's up. Okay. From the beginning. MP.
Big.
Let's do bunkai count, which is sweep punch is one count. Hey. Down block hook punch. Hey. Yeah, this entire series up to the down block facing that way. Hey. Good. All right, young man. We're gonna do the same thing one more time.
So all you, sir?
Before we do that, I'm thinking, you guys have been around long enough, we can detail a lot of this as we go. Plus you've already had this for a while, so it's a good thing. High speed hip hand, inviolate, absolutely. But it also depends on what you're doing and when you're doing it. So after I come off of here, I'm still dealing with this guy. As I step out here, I'm still dealing with this guy. I really don't change people until here. So once I'm in here, I'm still looking at this guy, and then my eyes shift.
But still, your eyes would shift before you start making your moves.
Yes, but I'm not sure what the timing of you is described.
Like if you were here, you'd be going.
Oh yes, absolutely. Yes. I wasn't sure if we were where we were talking about. Yes, absolutely. So yeah, once I'm here, I'm not going to do that. No, once I'm here, and this. at whatever your speed you'll really.
Yes.
All right, one more time. A question?
No, just figure myself.
Processing. Okay, good. All right, same thing, same way.
Right.
First two count, first two motions. Hey. All right, you know what? Let's go back to the beginning so this doesn't become a habit. Sweeping here. Now, both hands. Yeah. There you go. That way. All right. First two motions. Hey. And hook punch. Perfect. There you go. Down block hook punch. Hey. Good. The entire series up to the down block facing the back. Hey. Greg, before we leave, before we call class, remind me, I got something I want to tell you about the punch. That series. All right, from here, high punch. We're going to go into our series again. We've done the down block. We've started the next series. Go, high punch. Open the hand. Knee, pull down, step in, cross leg punch. And step out, down block, down block. Down block, down block. Good. All right, come on.
Now you're gonna keep me in suspense. I want to know.
A few more minutes we'll talk about it. It's one of those that you've had to cut them long enough and they can one ear and out the other, or it might actually stick for them too. All right, same thing, same way. One guy count. So first two motions, the sweep and the hook punch. Hey! Down block hook punch. Hey! The foot doesn't make that weird thing that you just did.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
This or that?
Back.
This or what?
Joy Dutch.
Oh. So, spread on more?
Don't ever say that to me again. Don't ever say that to me again. Not ever.
Good. That was uncomfortable.
That was, yeah, that kind of freaked me out, made me a little nervous. All right, entire series up to the down block. Hey. Open, knee, underneath, slide out, down block, good. All right, the entire series up to the down block facing me. Hey. Good. All right, come on. This will come up again. You guys process this, whatever way you want. It's meant more for Greg because he had this concept for a while. This concept will come up again in Sochin as to how we're punching. So I do the down. I'm doing this series. The down block. That's where I'm at. Okay. So I do the down block. I do straight high punch, then I circle. Now, everybody can agree that's good. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely. One thing. Well, when Sifu Anne-Marie gets back to teaching more regularly, she's going to start teaching a whole lot more about circles. And then we're going to kind of modify it into a karate perspective as well. We talked about the helix before. We talked about circles. We talked about straight lines. Well, what we're talking about now is elliptical motion. Everybody knows what an ellipse is? Yes? Okay. It's a flat circle for those of you that don't know. If I drive a straight punch, dead flat, dead straight punch. If I'm going to over-exaggerate. That will add to it. Now, I don't want to do that, but I want a very subtle, or I want to start trying for a very subtle three-dimensional ellipse that I can add in to the end of that. Yes.
Why does that happen? Because there's more time between.
Because you get this kind of dead hand motion where you actually duct the energy into their bodies. And have we talked about dead hand before? I think we have a little. We touched on it a little bit. Okay. Until you really feel a good dead hand, it's hard to believe this. He was one of his favorites. And the thing about the way you can punch, you can actually manipulate the energy that goes into, through, and around in your opponent. I still can't figure out how he did this one, but I'll describe this in order to get to dead hand. He's explained it to me 100 times. He's shown me the muscles to do it with, and I still can't do it.
The matrix for you.
The matrix for me. He would hit one time, boom. And what you would feel in your body are 3 hits. Boom, boom, boom. Off of, that's what he would do. That's what you would see. That's what happened. It wasn't, it was boom. In your body, it went bang, bang, bang. Now the way he did it, as he showed me, as the punch makes contact, you contract one side of your abdomen, then the middle, and then the other side to get that rebound. And what happens to your internal organs, ask me how I know, is they go slosh, slosh against your back.
So it's not that he's going deeper in, it's literally that
It's literally causing an internal vibration.
It's like I have the thing
Like,
in construction.
yeah, that's a good way to put it. Like, if you hit like if you took like a water balloon or a water bag and you slap it and watch the ripples go through it, it's basically the same thing off of one punch. A similar thing with a dead hand. You do it off a punch, you do it off a kick. My personal favorite is doing it off of this slap, this palm heel. And literally it's just relax, boom, and you literally dump all of your energy in, and you don't withdraw. You know, like this bang bang kind of thing. That's one type of energy and impact. Boom! And you don't really give the energy any place to go. So again, it kind of sets up that vibration. But with the dead hand, it literally feels like everything in here is falling out. That's when you get hit with that. And you get hit with it right. So same thing. It comes off with a punch, it comes off with that elliptical motion. You can also, the point I'm trying to make with MP and eventually with Sochin is you can also, instead of getting this ellipse, you can get this ellipse. So I'm here, instead of going this way, I can go, so there's a little at the end.
I've seen Sean Eric do that a lot.
Yes, he likes doing it. Yes. The one who really loves it is Sean Payne. I like doing it. It's just not one of my personal favorites, but it's to me it's kind of niche. Sean Payne just loves doing it. Because what you can end up with is not only this elliptical power, but you can also change the weapon and the technique as you're doing it. So instead of hitting here, I can actually end up hitting this way, lifting the chin and into the throat at the same time. Also, with this apex lifting, I get that Sasha motion. So if they're punching, I can slide in under their punch goes over my head and they eat it in the face. Like that. So, just something to think about for empty and Sochin is this down to up ellipse that is possible.
Let's see where we're at.
Okay. All right. From the top. Right. Same way. Bunkai count. Hey. On the balls of your feet. I will come back there with a stick and start if you keep messing that ankle up. Hey. Stop. Entire series up to the down block. Good. Entire series up to the down block toward me. Hey. From here. We're going to pull into a crane stance, open hand block with our attention to the 45. We'll put that one down. I'm going to go to my 45. Hammer fist, crane stance. Put it back, Shiko. Shiko. Alright, come on. Question?
I just again doing the saw as Jacksonville because I did the wrong hand. So I thought it was this, but it's the left one.
Hang on.
I'll have to go through it to really see which one I do.
Well,
I'll be confusing myself.
then at your speed from the beginning, do your thing.
Yeah. Look at this left.
Yeah. The left hand is the shoot though. The only question, from the beginning, just don't think about it, just do the entire kata up to this point. All right, good. So you do back fist.
I was doing
Back
this.
Okay. That's what I do.
This.
That's I think what's what Sean Eric does. Sean James does hammer fist here.
Like this? Or
This way.
side this way?
Sideways.
So like this?
That one.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought he taught me this one, but
He might have, but again, I talked to him about a week or so ago about it to see which one he was doing. That's what he showed me. I'm going to say don't change anything because I think I might be able to convince him to fix that so that I don't have to change because I prefer the back fist there myself. For no other reason other than that's just what I like and that's what I was taught. Both of them are, Bunkai is basically identical. I'm either hitting him in the side of the head or hitting him in the front of the face. Kind of thing. All right, from the top, Bunkai count. Hey. Hey. Up. Feet. Good. Now, stand up crane, open hand to the left side. Hey. Then like this, and slide out. Shiko, Shiko, Shiko. More of a parry kind of shito rather than a straight hard. All right, you know what? Good. Detail is just a little bit what we call it now. We're back. So I'm coming off of this last down block. As I come back, my crane stance is still forward here, but my intent is on my 45. As I step to it, I'm going to put my foot on that 45, bring my left crane, or my right crane, sorry, up into it, back fist it in the face. As I set it down into the shiko and I come back, my shuto is more of a parry than it is a direct line shiko. I'm kind of clearing the front of my body.
So, someone said 45.
Yeah. We'll get to that in just a second. I meant to mention this last week. So let's think about basically what we're doing here. I come off of this one, I block whatever's incoming. I get him behind the head, I hit him, bring him down, and I'm going to get rid of him. That's basically what I'm doing. Sean Eric likes to push there. That's his version of it. Right. I remember hearing him teach you that. Again, I'm not going to say it's wrong. If you like it, keep it. Because again, as far as I know, I think he's the only one that has that version or has kept that version. So for consistency, like we were talking about earlier with Greg, file that away as, for consistency's sake, we're going to make it a parry for the dojo. Cool. All right, one more time from the top. Same thing, same way. Hey. Hey. Up. Hey. Go. Crane, all this. Back to this, slide out, shiko, parry. Good. All right, young man. Questions on MP? Any other good, deep philosophical questions? Question. Project much more, much louder.
I'm just wondering about. I was wondering about this part. Does the two arms go at the same time, or does one come first and
No,
the other?
they come at the same time.
Okay, so my turn, sir.
Just like I'm going to load for a down block, same thing.
So was this by accident that we were doing a kata that has the crane in it, sir?
Yes, it was actually.
I was
It
saying,
happened
I was saying, what are
coincidence.
the odds that you picked
Yeah,
one?
no, happy coincidence,
Yes.
actually. Yeah. Sometimes it
It's
just
like we
works
called
out.
and set it up. I do. I'm struggling because I think I've been doing. So if I do this, it's wrong to do the. Because I looked at it as you're drawing all the way in.
Okay. Where you are right now
Yes.
is not wrong.
This. Just don't do this.
That I would say is wrong. Because once I'm in on top of this guy this way, I'm really narrow here.
This.
And I think I feel that I lose a lot of power pulling my legs that close. And I was giving it as joy anyway.
Right.
So again, if for no other reason, consistency within the dojo, teaching,
Yes.
keep it as joy. If you like keeping it for your personal together,
Yes.
play with it.
Yes.
And a lot of these things aren't wrong. And if your brain is telling you it's an important concept, it's worth playing with.
Yes.
Okay, this is your part of your personal growth as a martial artist. And sometimes you hit on things that, if for no other person, it works for you.
Yes.
It might not work for any other human being on the face of the planet, but it works for you. And that's the most important part right there. That thing. And again, as long as it doesn't violate any of the absolute principles, it's not wrong.
Yes.
So if you work the bunka and you find pulling into Masubidan works for you, rock and roll.
Yes.
I will tell you it's never going to work for me.
Right.
But then we're not the same people.
Yes.
It doesn't make it wrong, it just makes it different.
Yes.
Something else. Oh, back to the happy accident crane. One of the weirdest things that James and I will talk about, and it's kind of what you're talking about, for whatever reason, I don't know if this happens in other dojo, because I've never had a chance to talk to anybody about it, but it happens with him, it used to happen a lot. With us, it still happens a lot. Where, like this, you were thinking about Crane for how long you were thinking about it, you brought it up, just so happened he needed MP, happy accident, weird cosmic coincidence. On a very regular basis, I'll be thinking about something all day long at work. Oh, when I get, dojo, this is kind of what I want to touch on in class. I'll touch on it in class, and James will go, I just taught that same thing on Tuesday. Now, we don't talk about what he does on Tuesday, so I have no idea. Or he'll go, I've been thinking about that exact same thing all day long, too. So it's just weird. Cosmic coincidence. All right, anything else? We good? We just call it in full.
Push.
It is.
I got to do my stuff. Oh, what the next? Go home.